What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. Should the Dodgers consider signing Trevor Story? More on that in just a second. But quick reminder, for all the latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. Really helps out the channel. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: should the Dodgers consider signing Trevor Story? If so, for how much? And also, how many hats or jerseys would you give him on the Dodgers Dream Free Agent Meter? Let me know down below. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So one big free agent that we haven't talked very much about this offseason is star shortstop Trevor Story. Now, should the Dodgers consider signing Trevor Story? Well, MLB Trade Rumors listed the Dodgers as a potential destination. They said the Dodgers lost Seager and haven't done much to replace him this winter. The Trea Turner acquisition at last summer's deadline could be the necessary shortstop replacement, with Chris Taylor, Gavin Lux, Max Muncy logging action at second base. Los Angeles has been tied to Correa, though, suggesting they're open to a star shortstop. Now, first things first, let's break out the Dream Dodger Free Agent Meter. And for Trevor Story, if the Dodgers couldn't sign Trea Turner to a long-term extension and Trevor Story was their best option for a long-term solution at shortstop, I'd give him a 3 Dodger hats. Solid, let's ride. Now, make no mistake about it, it wasn't a storybook ending for Trevor Story in 2021. He posted his lowest batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage since 2017. If you look at his outs above average defensively, in 2019 he was a plus 18 outs above average, and he had a 0 in 2020 and a -6 in 2021. So his defense is trending in the wrong direction, but there could be a lot of factors. He was dealing with an elbow injury, not very happy in Colorado, not very much protection in the lineup with that Rockies team, and also it was his contract season. Some guys perform well, some guys don't. Sometimes the pressure gets the guys with all that money on the line. So if you're Trevor Story, you enter the market at your age 29 season. I've seen some talk out there, maybe he pulls a Marcus Semien, signs a 1-year deal, bets on himself, and then gets right back in that free agency market after next season. I don't anticipate that with Trevor Story. I do think he is going to sign a long-term deal, but it's not going to be one of these big $300+ million contracts that we've seen some of these premium shortstops sign for. Guys like Corey Seager and Francisco Lindor and guys like that. MLB Trade Rumors projects that he's going to sign for 6 years, $126 million, and they had his teams listed as the Phillies, Rangers, and Astros. Well, if you look at the Astros, I do think they're still going to be in the mix for Carlos Correa. And let's say they do end up signing Carlos Correa, where does that leave Trevor Story? And if you're the Dodgers, can you get an extension done with Trea Turner? Do you know at this point if he will be willing to sign it? Because if you're the Dodgers, do you want to go into that contract season knowing he could walk after next year with no security for the future at that position? If that's the case, do you go after someone like Trevor Story? Because what we know at this point is that the Dodgers are after a star shortstop. They've been linked with Carlos Correa. They tried to sign Corey Seager. They traded for Trea Turner. So the big question with Trevor Story is, how big of a star is he? Well, you know I bring my facts to the fight, so let's take a deep dive into Trevor Story's numbers and see how good of a player he really is. Now, as a whole, it definitely was a down season for Trevor Story in 2021. He ended up slashing .251, .329, .471, had a .341 WOBA, had a .221 ISO. He finished with 3.5 FWAR, had 24 home runs and 75 RBIs. You see that .251 batting average? That was his lowest average since his 2017 season. You see that home run total at 24. That was his lowest mark in a full season since 2017 as well. So you saw those power numbers definitely take a dip, but he got off to a slow start when it came to those power numbers. He did hit 11 home runs in the first half, but didn't hit his first home run until the 19th game of the season. So maybe some of the rumors that the Rockies were going to have to trade him during the season, maybe that affected him, because after the break, he did turn it up. He ended up slashing .253, .337, .506, hit 13 home runs, and had an an OPS plus of 126 in 65 games after the All-Star break. And if you look at his strikeout and walk numbers last year, they were pretty consistent to his career averages. He had a 23.4% strikeout rate, an 8.9 walk rate, and for his career, he's at 27.6% strikeout rate and 8.5% walk rate. But I think the big issue is that his power numbers are trending in the wrong direction. He had a 221 ISO power last year. When he was having his best seasons in 2008 when he had 37 home runs, that number was at 276. Now defensively it gets interesting with Trevor Story. He had 9 defensive runs saved last year, had a UZR of 3.6, a UZR 150 of 3.1, was also in the 4th percentile in outs above average. So we know he has that strong arm. We know he can get it done at the shortstop position. We know he's quick. He was in the 89th percentile in sprint speed last season. I just don't know if I love the way his bat is trending at age 29. Will he get it together? Now, we know he can hit for power as well. Since 2016, no shortstop in Major League Baseball, save for if you want to consider Manny Machado as shortstop, has hit more home runs. Since 2016, his 158 bombs are the most by a player that has played primarily the shortstop position, 21.6 F-WAR in that span. So he's been a player that can definitely hit for power at that position, and that's what really makes him unique, and someone that the Dodgers could consider joining their storied franchise. So I do think his 2021 season was more of an aberration. I think he's a better player than what he showed last year. I do think he was pressing. Like I said, not a lot of protection in that Rockies lineup. But for me, the Dodgers' top priority needs to be trying to extend Trea Turner. And if that's a no from Trey, then maybe you consider some other options, because you saw what happened last season. The Dodgers tried to extend Corey Seager at the beginning of the year. Him and his agent Scott Boras said no thank you, not even considering it. He walks in free agency. Will the same thing happen to the Dodgers 2 seasons in a row? That's something you have to fear, losing Corey Seager 1 year, and the following year you lose Trea Turner. Do you want to put yourself in that position once again? Now, when it comes to Trevor Story, I like Story. I don't love Story. I think that, to me, is kind of what you consider. But if you look at the contract he would command, it wouldn't be absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, you can get him for under $150 million when you offered Seager $292 million, when Carlos Correa wants over $325 million, something in that range. So you could get value with Story, and you love the fact that he hits for so much power. He can leave the yard quite frequently for his position. He has that strong arm, and I do think he's a really, really solid player. But I do think I would prefer, of course, the Dodgers to extend Trea Turner. But let me know down below in the comment section, would you want to see the Dodgers pursue Trevor Story if they knew they couldn't extend Trea Turner? Let me know down below. And also, how many hats or jerseys would you give Trevor Story on the Dream Dodger free agent meter? Let me know down below in the comment section. My name is Doug McCann. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la, download the new Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users, and until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.